This is a bit of a weird video for me to make, and also a different one from what I have made, because it's not really going to be like giving you advice and stuff that you can like implement into your life to, say, increase your income and become a better person. This is more so I want to just provide you a new perspective in terms of if you're obsessed with reaching a certain like goal or number or income or stockpile of money. If you're thinking it's going to fix everything in your life, I want to make sure you get a reality check with this. I remember being 15, 16 years old, watching these types of videos and just thinking like, that's all I need. Like if I had that, like everything in my life would be solved. In fact, my initial goal was to have enough money to buy a Lamborghini Huracan, and that's life. Like that's all I need in life. And now I actually realized pretty recently, like I have the ability to actually do that. I could actually go buy one, and I'm not going to. And I have chosen to like restrict my lifestyle down to be very minimalist, because as I've grown older, I'm only 25, but as I've grown older, I've come to appreciate the options rather than not having options, if that makes sense. Like I could buy the car, I could have the car, and then what? And then I have like nothing anywhere else. And like that is everything. I'm tied down to this material thing. Even though that would be an awesome material thing to have. I'm a big car guy, so that would be awesome. But I almost feel like knowing I could is just as satisfying as actually having the thing. And knowing I'm not restricting myself by putting my money into just materialistic stuff. It feels a lot better. But okay, the point of this video, first of all, I want to break down for you how I even built this in the first place, like where it came from, and then also just how I feel. Like, has it fixed problems in my life? Like, would this make you like really happy? So let's dive into it. First and foremost, 240,000 of this was my own doing. When my great grandma passed away, she left me $20,000. So, 240,000 was myself, 20,000 was from her. Total net worth across taxable brokerage account, 401k, employee stock purchase program, Coinbase account for cryptocurrency, and then my $21,000 paid off Lexus ES350 adds up to about 260k. And so. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering like how I even stacked that up in the first place, I've from a very early age, I feel like a lot of this is luck, because like I just kind of fell into the personal finance space and loved watching like making money, and so I just grew a passion for it because I fell into this type of content. And so from a very early age, like I got a job as soon as I legally could. Worked a couple minimum wage jobs. I then started a few of my own businesses. I had 4 monetized YouTube channels in my past. I had a consulting business on Fiverr. Now I'm an assistant vice president at a Fortune 500 financial company. Pays around $200K a year. Very stressful job, but given that it gives me hope for freedom in the future, like I will happily endure this stress now. I think that's what actually Beat Your 20s is all about. Establishing some hope for yourself, unless you love what you do. If you found something where it's like even if you had $20 billion, like you would not stop doing it, then you are in a phenomenal position. For me, my dream is to drive sports cars through the mountains, travel, hike. None of that stuff really makes money. At least I haven't found a way to have it make money. Outside of my YouTube channel, where I do drive sports cars, has around 60,000 subscribers, makes around $2,000 to $4,000 a month. But again, yeah, that's not like an income where I feel like I can hyper accumulate my own personal wealth. So insufficient as of right now. But with that being said, how does it feel to be in this position? Well, to be frank with you and honest, I feel like I'm nowhere near where I need to be. My personal goal is to get to that position where I have full freedom and independence. And what that just means is, I have a net worth that allows me to no longer have to rely on income ever again. Enforced income, if you will, forced income, like working a 9-to-5 job. So I'm nowhere like $250,000, $260,000 is nowhere close to being in that position. So I feel like I'm not even close to my goal. I'm grateful for the position I'm in, and I recognize that I am making pretty serious progress towards that. And I also have that, because there is progress being made, I do have hope. I have hope for that goal being accomplished, and that's much better than if I was still working at McDonald's as a cashier. There would be no hope for me, because accumulating wealth at that point, good luck. So being at this income level, which has allowed me to build this net worth, and knowing I have this net worth established, it's like I feel hope. I feel like I have more options. I feel like I have more security, which is all great. But I don't want you to feel like this will just like fix everything in your life. There's a bunch of YouTubers where I watch their videos all the time. They're posting their net worth updates and their journey of like hitting $100,000. I love that type of content, and I'm rooting for them. But I also recognize, like, as soon as I get there, it doesn't even. The whole point of life is about the journey. When the fun part isn't the end; it's everything leading up to it. So once you get to the end, what's next? I hit 50,000, I hit 100,000, I hit 200,000, I hit 250,000. What's next? For me, I want to hit 1 million before 30. And that is I kind of curse myself with this. I'm far away from that. And that's many, many years of working. And it is something that I'm probably unhealthily obsessed with. And so, it makes it difficult. When you're working towards a hard long-term goal, and that is your main priority, you run into a lot of like self-doubt moments. And so I do have to kind of like step back and look at what I've built up and express some gratitude and appreciation, and look at the average or median stats and recognize I am in a phenomenal spot. But it still just doesn't feel like it, no matter how much I do that. And again, I'm sure you've heard the difference. There's a big difference between, or the phrase, there's a big difference between making a million or being a millionaire and spending a million or spending like a millionaire. Well, millionaires don't spend like that, but spending a million versus like keeping a million. At this income level in my net worth, I'm not spending anything. I'm not enjoying like any of it. And so there's people that likely have a way smaller income than me, a way smaller net worth than me, that look a lot more lavish. Nicer apartment, nicer cars, they take vacations, they do all this stuff. But my main priority, and I just believe this is the point of being, in my 20s with all the energy I do have, is reaching the point where I no longer have to rely on anything or anyone ASAP. And not just for myself, but to help other people too. I look at building wealth and putting yourself through torture, if you want to call it that, just putting yourself through high stress environments to accumulate wealth as fast as possible, increase your income as much as possible. It's selfish if you don't, because the more that you have, the more you can help others, the more you can give. And so a big motivation for me is not just doing this for myself, it's doing it for others as well, which I think really helps keep me going on this journey. But hopefully this kind of gives you some perspective into what it's like to be at this level. Don't think there's a certain number or a certain point where just everything is suddenly okay, because ultimately it depends on your day-to-day, your goals. Again, my goal is to have total freedom and independence, and that is for me, it's a large number. So that's all I wanted to say. Appreciate you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or thoughts based on this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.